Hey guys, welcome to the week in DSP for December the 10th. Again, we had another week of crazy shenanigans that culminated into the weekend being the bulk of the news. So getting on to the week in DSP, I have his schedule up, but something I've started to notice ever since I've been restreaming Phil is that he's been frequently changing his schedule almost every 12 hours. So this makes it rather difficult for me to plan, say, a blackout stream, as you guys see on Wednesday, and then the next day, going from Sunday to Monday, he's changed it to Minecraft. Then he points out Final Fantasy IV is the premiere on Thursday. Even though he usually saves premieres for brand new games, this game is a few years old and it's a port of a port. But no, when Thursday finally comes around, it's smash and blackout again. And as Phil continuously changes which day off he has from week to week, it again makes it difficult for me to plan things like streams. It also makes it rather silly for me to say, hey, this is what his schedule is, and he just continuously not goes and does it. And I think I fucked up on the schedule last week too, where I pointed out when he was playing Assassin's Creed, and I think he might have skipped at least one of those Assassin's Creed streams and taken the night off or something. So long story short, it makes it difficult to research just using Twitter to figure out what his schedule is going to be. I should probably just go back to his YouTube and look at what he actually uploaded, and that is what he played throughout the week. Monday starts off with a bit of housekeeping news. This is for the Kiwi Farms forums, but I wanted to take a moment and to say congratulations to Actually and Haunter for becoming supervisors of the Philip Burnell forums on the Kiwi Farms. So good luck, our, I guess, Egg Gang overlord, even though the Egg Gang isn't Kiwi Farms. But for those of you that don't know, Actually is the guy who does a lot of the numbers breakdown and figures out how much take-home money Phil is making between YouTube and Twitch, and a little bit of Patreon as well. Haunter was really good at compiling a lot of information to answer questions and made a lot of very big multi-posts that would gather and contain a lot of the conversation and bring it to tie up a lot of the loose ends brought on by speculation and bring it back to the point and the truth and the facts as well. So, but not always 100% on the financial side. I think Actually is like all the financial side, and Haunter kind of is like the historian in a way. He also did a little bit of like a 2 minutes from DSP stream, which are always fun posts to pick up. Now, Monday was Phil's day off, so not a whole lot of news came from that day. But we did get Phil tweeting out a few times to Twitch support about his mod-only room disappearing. Twitch does have the capability of creating separate chat rooms within one channel, and Phil obviously has a mod-only chat room, and that makes sense. You need to have your mods to discuss things behind the scenes, so that way they can say, hey, this name looks a little fishy, is it a troll name? Or this guy's comment, I don't get the reference, is it something that we can leave in? You don't want someone coming in and making 1488 jokes without knowing what 1488 means. What's funny about this to me is it's his day off. So there's no reason to be having your mod chat open. And why are you worrying about it on your day off? They might have it resolved by Tuesday when you start your stream again. Who knows? Give Twitch time to work on it. And it tickles me a second time because we had Phil, not last week, maybe the week before, for Dragon Quest XI. We had Phil on his day off was editing his Dragon Quest XI gameplay to take out the final cutscene because it blocked his video worldwide. And then on his day off in his chat room, there was a bot in there that was spamming the N-word. And Phil was the only mod, of course, on and around to go in and ban that guy. So on Phil's day off, we have him editing videos, which is one of the things he hates to do, and moderating his chat, which has to be something he hates to do because a lot of the times when there aren't mods around, he will draw attention to it and be like, mods, do your jobs. There's a troll in the chat room. He hates to do the silent lean forward manual ban. And you can bet he probably did that same gesture on last week's Monday. And then again, we have him supposedly having a very busy day with Kat on his day off, so that way he can get away from his work, his hard job, and he has to worry about the behind the scenes stuff with his Twitch. And instead of contacting anyone that he knows, because he has to have someone who's working for him behind the scenes, right? Otherwise he would be banned. At least that's the theory, right? He doesn't contact the normal forms of contact. He doesn't send an email. He doesn't look for the live chat. He might even have a phone number that he can call. No, he's going to tweet at them. Like, what the hell, man? Speaking of Twitter, Tuesday is Phil's back on to streaming. And we have a tweet from him that was captured by the Bone Sauce at 1 in the morning. So this means that Phil still hasn't gone to sleep at a normal time, but also that his Monday day off, he's still micromanaging the business. And the big news that happened here is that Jacksepticeye moved networks. And what this triggered was the automatic content ID system in YouTube matched the content from similar playthroughs between Phil and Jack, and it blocked Phil's videos. Now, what's really funny about this is Phil is tweeting about it several hours after it had happened. I don't know why I rolled the S there. Sorry about that. Rip your ears. But then it's already been resolved. Like, Jack had already tweeted about it, already explained the scenario, and then Phil is just like, oh, look, I checked my YouTube and my videos were claimed. What the hell, dude? Instead of doing any research to figure out how and why or what was going on, or even looking at Jack's Twitter feed where he explains the error and why the error occurred. It just kind of came off as Phil using anything to stir up pity bucks and to just, and I say pity bucks, that's exactly what Bonesaw said, but it's also for him to go after bigger names and try to just be like, hey, why are you picking on the little guy, man? You know, because he's the only true and honest gamer on Twitch and now on YouTube. We also have this tweet captured by Nothing I Can Do, where Phil is talking about wanting to add dabbing and T-pose emotes to his streams. This is just another effort of Phil to try to reclaim memes from the detractors. And it's not a bad strategy. It's just that he also gets upset at these memes even existing in the first place. And it also just seems kind of disingenuous that now all of a sudden he's embracing these memes that he banned people for in the past. And there's no way that anyone who got banned for making dab claims or requests and T-pose jokes are going to get unbanned from having done those in the past now that they're acceptable memes. Because Phil has memes that's like, oh, well, if I'm in on the meme, then it's okay because no one's getting hurt. And then you have the memes that only the detractors use, and they use that just to tear me down and just to hurt me. But I guess now they're okay because we have the extra emote slots, so we better fill them up with something, guys. Just whatever pixelated junk you want to send me. Raven's Child answers the question about what happened to Grazy Dream. At first, it looked like Grazy Dream had been banned because his Twitch account was no longer active. However, it appears that Grazy Dream's Twitch account has just simply changed names, but by doing so, you can no longer look up the original Grazy Dream link or account. Grazy Dream was an honest fan, I want to say. Someone who was supportive of Phil, gave him lots of money, lots of gifted subs, and wanted to see certain things happen in certain playthroughs. However, he gets banned. I think he got banned by Phil because he was just providing too much criticism that Phil didn't want, obviously. But I think a lot of Phil's fans have adopted into the us versus them mentality. So they see people who give Phil money and legitimate criticism as maybe someone who's on their side. So they liked Grazy Dream. I guess Grazy Dream was kind of active in the chat. No idea. I couldn't follow the chat. I don't follow Phil's chat that often. But of course, chat asks Phil, hey, did you see Grazy Dream got banned by Twitch? And Phil just doesn't care. Sidella was a similar situation where he kept trying to get around his Twitch ban by coming into Phil's chat with very obvious names. And Sidella is probably still a honest fan of Phil's. And a lot of Phil's chat missed Sidella being there. And they were asking Phil, hey, where is he? Have you seen what's going on? And he's just like, nope, don't talk about it. Don't bring it up. He's, let him figure it out. It's not our issue, not our problem. So the second that you stop giving Phil any sorts of money, he doesn't give a fuck about you anymore. And Crazy Dream is no different than anyone else. Crazy Dream probably gets out of it a little bit better than someone like Vidar or Tutankhamun, maybe even Swaggins. We'll see how the Swaggins saga plays out, but where he doesn't just completely throw you under the bus and say, well, it's his fault. He's a dirty Fairweather detractor now. He was only a Fairweather fan. He only wanted to be around me when it was cool or whatever. I just hope Crazy Dream moves on, because a lot of these fans just get totally mistreated by Phil, and he doesn't deserve their support. If he was nicer to his fans, I would say, yeah, whatever. But the way this battered wife syndrome where he keeps throwing them under the bus and insulting them and all this, only for them to come back. I'm glad Crazy Dream just finally said, enough is enough, and hopefully just moves on to better chapters. We have this great clip from Clown Piss, clipped straight from the pig's mouth, as he says in the post, during Assassin's Creed Odyssey, where Phil is talking about locking the dab and T-pose emotes behind the tier 2 and tier 3 subscriptions. Now, he doesn't outright say it that Twitch Prime are fake subs, but he points out that a lot of Prime users are detractors, and you can sign up with the fake email address you use to make your fake Twitch sock account to get a month free of Prime if you think that the sub badge is going to protect you from Phil in his chat. Now, however, Phil should still encourage people to sub through Twitch Prime, especially if he has sub goals that still need to be hit, because he still gets paid all the same. However, locking it behind tier 3 subs doesn't really matter once you get to the Emerald 7 part of the story. Oh, and real quickly, I just want to point out, Clown Piss says that right before Phil went into this whole emote tier Twitch Prime mini rant 30-second clip, is that someone had asked him for streaming tips, and he said as a tip to be grateful for everything. So now here he is just acting like, oh, if you're going to Prime sub, that's not enough. You really got to contribute more if you want the cool emotes. By the way, Phil's emotes are shit. I'm just going to say that out there. I think it's nice that Popsicolo does the work for free, but Popsicolo has his own stream, and he really should focus on growing his own channel before he really puts effort into trying to grow other people's channels. At least that's just the way I see it. You physician, heal thyself. You got to take care of yourself before you worry about taking care of other people. Doesn't matter how much Phil begs and whines and says he doesn't have money to pay for an artist, or that he doesn't have time to do things himself. It's all horseshit. He makes tons of money, and if he really wants to have a professional level stream, he should really dole out some dough and pay for a professional level artist to make the emotes that are all within like the same size, the same quality, make sure there's no artifacts in them, and so it doesn't look like this weird amalgamation of bullshit that he currently has going on right now. I mean, look at channels like Dr. Disrespect and Tim the Tatman, or even Tolo. There's a lot of Tolo subs in Phil's channel, and they do the 4-piece emo emblem. Dr. Disrespect has a similar emblem. He also has the 2-piece bow tie, Committed. Like, half of Phil's emotes are just fucking text. It's not the greatest. And he tries to embrace detractor memes with the emotes, but I wouldn't doubt it if someone's been banned from using Phil's emotes in a detractor / meme lord sort of way. So yeah, lock him behind tier 2 and tier 3, just like your DSP Akuma emote, which is Garbo.
And then I said, oh, maybe I'll do as tier 2 and tier 3 exclusive subs, so that way we won't get a ton of people just using Amazon Prime to try to get it. We'll get people who are actual honest supporters doing it, right? And that'll be okay. And everyone this morning was like, oh no, we don't want that. We don't want to actually have to like spend real money to use those emotes, because we're just trolls who just want to use Twitch Prime to fucking do a fake, fake sub and then just spam the shit out of you. It was hilarious. As soon as I suggested, oh, let's protect it to stop the spam in the stream chat, immediately everyone who wanted it was like, oh, we don't want it.
Wednesday, we start off with Kama, another great contributor to Kiwi Farms, with a short little clip that we'll play right now.
Yeah, I can't do anything. I'm too fat.
But then also points out Phil's reaction to a cheer from Take a Sip 2. For the people that seem interested, my tip said that she should make an apology video for the racist and homophobic things he said. Maybe then the trolls will fuck off. Now, it says she said. I don't know if they're referencing Phil or not, because then he changes it to he later on. But then Phil leans over, and I think it's great in the screen cap that he catches Phil leaning over to type. I've apologized about 1,000,000 times for the shit in my past, so at this point, if you don't know that, you're just ignorant, LOL. He doesn't acknowledge the cheer or anything. So much for being grateful for everything that you get, right, Phil? I almost didn't include that because it just hardly seems like news, but Wednesday really was pretty dry. And I mean, like, the whole week felt pretty dry when you compare it to the shit that starts up on Thursday, but we're not quite at Thursday yet. We also have T-Pose Counter is now a mod within Phil's chat. Now, this is a guy who's been around for a while, and he's gone through 3 or 4 name changes, and he even changed his name yet again after becoming mod, so that way his name was easier to type for Phil. So that's a level of cuckery I've not really seen from the DSP community before, where it's like, oh, hey, let me just go through a name change. Let me completely change my identity on the website, so that way it's easy for you to type. I'll just make it the letter A. That should be pretty easy, Phil. Now, it's probably a good thing that Phil did this. He's been kind of lacking on modship in his channel ever since school's finals started up. And he's even pointed out that finals are up, so that way his mods can't dedicate so much time to helping run the channel for him. But remember, he's not a children's entertainer, and only the detractors are the mentally ill underage kids. The people who follow Phil are, of course, mature young adults. Thursday, we have a post from The Bone Sauce, and this happened during Blackout. You can catch the restream on my channel. So I was live for this, but I don't have the clip broken up without my commentary on it. But someone tipped Phil $24 and said that this helps with the overdraft fee. And Phil said, no, it won't. My fee is actually more than the $24. He eventually got a $35 donation later on that said, oh, well, this should cover your overdraft fees too. So it's basically like he got his overdraft fee and $24 paid back by his fans. It also looks like I misspoke earlier and said Thursday was when shit gets crazy. It's Friday when shit gets crazy. And it starts off with some gifted subs. 50 subs from an account that wasn't even following Phil at the time, and the account is at least a year old. So that actually threw off some suspicion that it was someone who made a sock account or something like that. Now, what gets crazy is a lot of people who were reporting on this on the Kiwi farms were like, oh, look, another 50. Oh, look, now another 50. So we're up to 200 now, 250, 300. This shit continued all the way into Monday the 17th, where it totaled something like 1,000 gifted subs, and like 600 of them were tier 3 subs. Now, what's interesting to point out is a tier 3 sub is worth 5 times as much as a tier 1 sub. It's $25 instead of $5. This guy also single-handedly made Phil the #1 channel for tier 3 subs, as in he has the most tier 3 subs on Twitch, and they were all gifted. He has more tier 3 subs than Tim the Tatman or Dr. Disrespect. Fresh to Death pointed out that Emerald 7 used to go by the name Daring Visionary until the 14th, where he started dropping all of these gifted sub bombs. Now, I don't know why this person changed the name before going in and dropping all of these subs, because no one seems to know who even Daring Visionary was. Now, if you guys recall back to the time where King Tut gifted a shit ton of subs to the channel, and I mean, like, he has been completely outdone by this Emerald 7 guy, that Twitch staff showed up in chat, and it was the same chat member, Twitch admin, Donkey Kong 711, who showed up to make sure that Phil was getting all his gifted subs. Now, this has been asked before, like, oh, well, I'm sure that's their cover for the real reason why they're in there. They're probably on the lookout for fraud. Twitch staff And admins have the ability to make themselves invisible so they don't show up in chat lists. I have pointed out in the Week in DSP before, when admins show up in Twitch chat, that Swaggins will at Darkside Phil maybe even cheer to let him know, hey, Twitch stuff is in chat, which is kind of like a heads up to don't fuck up, because we know you do fuck up and you just don't get caught in your fuck ups. Now, Haunter did open a separate subthread dedicated to the Emerald 7 lore. I just have it linked here. I didn't read through all of it, but there is some interesting speculation and theories that go in here. However, I like to stick to just plainly the facts and the things that actually happened. So I'm not really going to go into any of the speculation. I'm just going to wait until there's more facts. There's people who care about doxing this guy way more than I do, about figuring out any sort of research or brute forcing his password. Like, I really don't condone a whole lot of that, but I can't stop the community at large. I mean, look at the shit that they did when they figured out Kat's ex-boyfriend's name. They blew him up and chased him off of Facebook because they all wanted to be the one to discover the thing. So I'm just going to wait till someone else comes out with it, and then I'll let you guys know what becomes of it. However, since this guy still hasn't chatted in Phil's chat, I don't believe he's messaged anyone privately, and he didn't follow Phil until the day he started dropping all these bombs. There might not be anything to go off of just yet. The closest bit of evidence I've seen was from Samurai Goomba in my YouTube channel, who did a Google search and found that this guy had commented on a DSP video 7 years ago. So who knows if this is something this guy's been sitting on for 7 years, just to play into the name, or if this is someone who's really deep on DSP lore and picked out a username. Though the Severed Emeralds, of course, reference the Chaos Emeralds from Sonic. So I wouldn't doubt it if some autistic Sonic fan was drawn by the autism magnet that is Darkside Phil and thinks that he's the only one that can be Phil's savior for his $16,000 tax debt crisis. The last comment I want to make, and this was also posted by Nothing I Can Do, is that Emerald 7 gave another 100 subs within like 10 minutes of the stream being shut down. I mean, like 10 minutes before Phil was like, oh, I gotta go. So the sub notifications were still pinging in the bottom left-hand corner when Phil changed to his thanks for watching slide on his OBS. It just seems really weird that this guy is going on and on about how he needs money. He has someone that's sending him tons of money. And if he even just stuck around to, I don't know, read a handful of the names or say thank you again and just wait for the sub notification to continue going and just do like a, I don't know, 10-minute bullshit riff with the chat, you know, talk about things until the sub notification ended and then called it a night, he might have even gotten more subs out of it. Who knows? Who knows how much money Emerald 7 is going to drop on Darkside Phil? But Phil didn't want to stick around and find out. He was quick to just stick to his schedule, even though, strangely enough, as I pointed out earlier, he doesn't stick to his schedule. So why bother? Kama on Saturday posted about the Red Dead Redemption 2 online co-op stream. However, the team that was supposed to play together was missing one member. So it was just DSP and 2 of his mods. Phil refuses to invite anyone from chat. He says he can only take people he knows well, which is fair. There's a lot of detractors that'd like to get in and just say, DSP, get a job, and just get muted and kicked from the party. But there's a lot of people who still follow him genuinely, and they feel gated out of being part of the inner circle because of the ever-present paranoia that detractors might sneak in and say something silly about a 28-inch dick, cardboard dick, not a real dick, you know. But Phil won't even take that risk. He can't have his ego challenged. He can't have his situation challenged. He can't banter with any of these fucks, even though he brags about how quick he is to ignore and ban them. We've seen him go through, fumbling through shit about trying to mute people and get a party together before. That's why we've seen the How's That Gout clip come out. That came from Phil just like scrambling to get a party figured out. All in all, it just lowers the interactivity when it's just Phil and I want to say it was Kekken and Popsicolo, though I could be wrong. There's also another guy who's on the inner circle named Venomous Fat Man. I don't know if he made it to Red Dead Redemption 2 or if he was supposed to be the fourth guy in Red Dead Redemption 2, but supposedly he's supposed to be doing co-op with Phil in Smash. I don't know. Thankfully, I wasn't around to watch those streams. I was away visiting the girlfriend and her family. So those streams sound like that they were kind of shit. And that's very unfortunate for someone streaming on a Saturday, because you would imagine your larger audience would be from the Saturday crowd, because there's no school and no work for most people on Saturday. They also can stay up late on a Saturday because it's also likely they don't work on Sunday. I have to imagine that's why Smash did moderately well, is because Smash was the hype game. It was its release weekend. It was something that everyone wanted to see. He's like got to be a week at least late on Red Dead Redemption 2 because he didn't want to play it the day that it came out. So all of the shenanigans have already been done. Speaking of shenanigans, they were supposed to be reenacting shit from the first Red Dead Redemption with Suicide Kings, which I guess involved killing your character in ingenious and creative ways and abusing things like the ragdoll system in the game or whatever. But it looks like that's harder to recreate in Red Dead Redemption 2. I didn't save a post of it from the Kiwi Farms, but it was definitely discussed that it was pretty downright boring, and they spent like several minutes just trying to research locations where they could commit suicide for the video. We have another post from Kama that captures a cheer from Android X talking about the new subs that are in the channel thanks to Emerald 7. And he talks about this guy giving a huge chunk towards the tax situation that Phil is looking at trying to resolve by April. However, Phil says this is not a huge chunk. He says this is simply a good start. So obviously all the support that Emerald 7 has gifted so far is not enough to get the piggy out of his situation.
Okay, then after that, Android X actually cheered. And he said, wow, lots of new subs here. Congrats, Phil. Finally a huge chunk towards your taxes. Well, I'll be honest. Is it a good start? Yes. Is it a huge chunk? No, but it's a good start, okay? I don't want anyone over-exaggerating. You know, you got to realize subs, maybe people may not realize this, subscriptions, I get half of everything. So, you know, what was it? About 500 gifted subs times half of what the subs cost. That's what I made, okay? I've got a long way to go, but this was a very good start, and I am very grateful for it, okay? But anyway, Android X says, feeling positive. Now you will make what you need. This was one of the 12... was this one of the 12 who emailed you? No. This was, I don't even know who this guy was, this Emerald 7. I had never seen him in stream chat before. He never said anything. He just came in and started gifting, and there you go. All right? 'Tis the season, right?
Now, I don't know if this was impetus to make Emerald 7 gift more, because at this point, as we can see in the clip, Phil only has 1,191 subs. He gets another almost 400 subs between Saturday and Monday. Just another point that Phil is not really truly grateful for all the support that he receives. He probably is already fine, and that's why he doesn't need to be super grateful, because it would come off as desperate in a way. Who knows? We have one more post from Nothing I Can Do. Phil has no time to check facts and just ends up talking out his butt. Now, he immediately goes into another horrendous elitist system about people getting the game early, referring to Kingdom Hearts 3. And he's talking about how he's going to be a true and honest gamer and wait until its release so that way he can play it just like every one of you guys and have it on day one. And he wants this practice to end. The true story, as pointed out by Autism Dog is Dead, is that copies of the game were stolen from the distribution center, and because of this theft, which is illegal, is how some of the shit is being spoiled. But of course, Phil doesn't do any goddamn research, as we saw with the Jack Skeptic Eye situation. He was just quick to take this situation and turn it into proving his narrative that he always tries to force down everyone's throats at every goddamn point. And that is why you should continue to support him, because he wants to do away with these elitist practices and he wants to fix video gaming culture and journalism and this, that, and the other. So yeah, anytime he can make it look like the big guy is picking on him, and anytime that he can make it look like that there are people who are getting special treatment and he's going to refuse special treatment because he wants to be the true and honest gamer, he's going to go with that narrative every single time. Oh shit, we're already on Sunday. Sorry for making this video kind of short, guys. I guess I was a little just too hard-nosed on what I counted as news or not, and I just cut out too many memes and speculation. There's a lot of speculation to go off of, though. Sunday, as posted by Kama, we have Derek Loves Lemur, who is a exceptional fan in the DSP sphere, and he cheers 50 bits to say, "You play Smash Ultimate online now, and how do I join you? I'm playing at a friend's Switch at the moment with the Inkling," and hashtag charity, of course, because Twitch is doing a charity event for December, and Phil is very quick to mention it. So he's like, "Oh, well, if you give me the bits with the hashtag charity, the charity gets the money too," because I guess Twitch is doing a match. So he wants people to spend more during this month. And Derek follows up with a "got my cheer?" ? And Phil, who is watching the credits of, I want to say that this was Assassin's Creed. I could be wrong. I don't know what game he finished on Sunday night or Sunday day. He just berates him.
Yes, Derek, I got your cheer, but it's kind of inappropriate to talk about online play while we're watching the credits of the single player now. The thing faded.
So, yeah, sorry, Derek. Guess you don't get to play with the big pig roach. And I also think it's funny that he uses the credits of the game as an excuse to not answer this guy, because Phil talks over the credits all the time. He never lets credits silently roll. He always has to add in something or be like, "Oh, that was that thing," when it plays clips from different and various points of the game. And I don't know. Just never truly great about being respectfully, I don't know, what would you say, stoic and quiet during during the credit sequence in the past. And that does it for the week in DSP. I'm sorry again for it being a day late and also being a little bit shorter too, but that's just what happens when real life gets in the way. I got home kind of late on Sunday, so I didn't have a whole lot of time to do a lot of pre-research. And then also spent Monday restreaming DSP, so I didn't get to work on the video a whole lot. So those are my excuses, but I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. Again, there won't be a video by me next week since I'll be out of town for the holidays. And if there is a guest video, I will upload it, but I don't know if we're going to get that or if we're just going to skip through it. I'm also planning on doing a year in DSP, and we try to catch up on each of the 12 months of the year and point out the biggest pieces of DSP lore from each of those months. So look forward to that, probably around New Year's, of course. So, all right, take it easy and have a good day or night, and I'll see you in the next stream or video.